Hey, man, Tony Schumacher, what's happening?
Good morning, Tony. Thanks for calling in, man.
No problem.
I was trying to dial out earlier and couldn't get the phones working, and I'm convinced we have gremlins in the system. As long as we don't get the board wet or feed it after midnight, I think we're good to go. So, how's life in the world of Top Fuel, man?
Cool, man. It's harder than ever.
Now, I was reading something in the snippet they give us before we get to talk to you guys, and it says the car you're driving, 10,000 horsepower, ran it in like 3.733 seconds, going over 330 miles an hour. If you can do that, what the hell scares you?
That's a good question. Taxes?
Taxes. When April 14th rolls around, that's when Tony Schumacher gets nervous.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding. You know what? I don't like heights. I don't like sharks. How's that?
Okay, so as long as you're not drag racing down the beach or on a cliff, you should be okay.
Yeah, I just can't. Those give me ultra fear. 330 miles an hour on the ground. I literally have very, very little fear. I preach about this, man. I have a fear of getting beat. Probably the reason we win so many races. I just have, you cannot over prepare for something. Kids, listen up, buddy. You got tests this week. Study so much, you're going to get an A. You go out, you get an A. You realize, oh my God, I just prepared for it, and I everything went fine. Under prepare for it. Don't study and see what happens. You're going to fail. It happens all the time.
See, that was kind of my MO growing up in high school. I was always the under-preparer, and it was always a pleasant surprise when it worked out. And like, hey, look at that, not an F. Fantastic.
But not an A.
No, not an A. Those were few and far between.
Exactly. And it's funny, man. We've won 8 championships, 77 races. My favorite expression, I heard it when I was young, it was over-prepare, then go with the flow. And, you over-prepare for something, the flow is really cool. You under-prepare for it and see it just, it's one of those things that I've been blessed with this Army deal for so long that I've heard so many great stories of over-preparing and then success stories. So
I guess that kind of carries over from the racing world, and I mean, like you said, in real life, but I'm sure a lot of, you get to interact with a lot of soldiers and Army folks, and I bet you that applies right with them as well.
Absolutely. It's so much so similar. And for me, I've been able to train with them so many times. I've jumped out of planes and rappelled and driven tanks, flown helicopters, everything you could possibly do. And it's incredible when you're taught by the right people, and you really learn it. As the student, you need to listen, but you listen, you pay attention. Both in Top Fuel and in the U.S. Army and all the different things, it's very much similar. Probably in most of life.
Now you said jumped out of planes, but I thought there was this fear of heights.
Yeah, I know. I didn't say I wouldn't do it. I just said I was scared.
Well, I guess you had a paratrooper strapped to your back though at that point too. So.
A couple of times, but I've also swam with sharks. I went out and fed sharks, and it's just the fear of it doesn't keep me from doing it. It just makes me do it probably less.
Yeah, there you go. Does winning ever get old for a guy like you, or you always need more?
That's really a great question. And no, it doesn't. I really enjoy it. I enjoy what it takes to win. And it is more difficult now than it has ever been. The teams are better. The drivers are better. The cars are all faster. The unity is better. Like all the whole class, all the cars are great. And it makes it where when you get up on Sunday morning and you're about to step into this battle, it makes it more fun. Like we all have these dreams of bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, full count, and you're up. Nobody ever dreams of a blowout game, and and we're blessed with that every week. NHRA right now, NHRA is the best sanctioning body you can go watch a race for right now. There no longer is there just one team that can win, and everybody else is fighting for second place. It is a monster battle, and if you're going to pay big money to go see a race, why not have it be a phenomenal race? Why not the best race on the circuit? So come out, bring your kids. Every fan gets a pit pass. These mellow yellow races right now, I don't know if you've ever been to one. You've been out there.
I've actually had the opportunity to race minivans down the drag strip at Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park. I think
nice.
it was for last year's. I got it up to a screaming 85 miles an hour. But I learned that it was all about just the reaction off that yellow. You guys go through the qualifiers a couple times. I mean, do you get on yourself if you're like, man, that wasn't quick enough? Or like, how do you get it in your head like, okay, I've got to react faster, when really it's like tenths of a second?
Oh, it's thousandths of a second. It's so fast. And, yeah, you get on yourself because, you know what, it's a 3.5-second race. I'm going to step back for a second. There's a lot more to it in Top Fuel. In a minivan where they're all about the same,
right,
getting off the line is pretty hard. But driving a top fuel car, 10,000 horsepower does not want to go straight. Steering it, keeping it in the groove, being on time and being ahead of a car that's accelerating with 5.5 or 6 Gs and negative 6 Gs when you're stopping, keeping it with all that power, it's trying to rotate and keeping it balanced on the two tires. But the starting line is funny because if you're late on the starting line, you should be ashamed of yourself. I mean, we're professionals. It's kind of like watching the Super Bowl when the guy drops a pass that hits both of his hands. You go, oh, man, really, you did that? You're paid to do that. And, yeah, I understand the pressure. Yeah, I understand all that stuff, but that's our job. So if you can't handle it, figure it out. If you can't pass this kind of a test, we don't ask any one of my teammates to be decent. Everyone has to be outstanding or they're going to have different jobs. It's just one of those jobs where you got to be great at it. So, yeah, I would be, if I'm late on the starting line, I'm disappointed.
So is driving a normal car just boring to you then?
Depends on what kind of car you got.
A regular ride down the highway. Are you just going, oh, my God, when will we get there?
No, I'm usually going, is that person texting? Move over. Get away from that person, I'm a Harley guy, love a good. So when I'm riding down the road and I'm looking at everyone fixing their makeup and talking on the phones and texting, things happen so fast. In my car, I'm paid to do it. I'm next to another guy paid. We're really good at what we do. You get on the road and they're not. So you're just defensive. You're just ultra defensive because it's dangerous out there, man. Buckle up. People go, I don't wear my seatbelt. You get trapped upside down. Such nonsense. That is such nonsense. Put your seatbelt on. That thing saves lives. You watch videos of people getting pitched out of windows and thrown out of cars all day long.
Yeah.
All day long. Watch a video where a guy's trapped in a fire. If you're trapped in a fire, you're probably knocked out anyways. So don't worry about that.
And I was going to say, in your world, there's really no time to text in 3 seconds. If you can get off a text in 3 seconds, you've got some speedy thumbs, my friend.
No doubt. My friend Doug Herbert, we raced against each other for years and years. His two boys got killed, 17 and 12 years old. I was there when he got the phone call. We were testing in Phoenix when he got the phone call that his 17-year-old was driving, a mile from the house, going too fast, went up a hill, crossed over, and hit a Hummer coming head on. It was terrible. He's got a company, charity called Brakes, Be Responsible, and Keep Everybody Safe. And he teaches kids that you can't text and you can't do this. And we talk about it, we joke about it, but it's pretty serious stuff, man. To watch a friend lose his kids was just brutal, So be serious about that stuff. Teach your kids. If you want to race, go to the racetrack. Like you took your minivan, take a car.
I want to clarify something. It wasn't my minivan,
Tony.
Oh,
no.
I'm not a minivan driver.
I heard it. We all heard it. You said it on the radio. There's proof. You got a minivan. Okay, face it. Cowboy up, dude.
Oh, it's out there in the public now. I'm a minivan man. But you're exactly right. In a controlled environment is where it should happen.
And we hear it. Two cars go out and they're racing on the street and there's two guys crashed drag racing. Nonsense. Drag racing's at a drag strip. That's why Wally Parks founded the NHRA, was to keep people safe, to keep them out there. So bring your young kids out there. Watch the race. Every fan gets a pit pass again. Everybody that buys a ticket gets to come in and stand next to me. We'll give them an autograph. We'll hang out and chat. And these kids can learn the right way to do it. And kids parents that have these kids that not exactly sure where they're going, what they're going to do, come out. 4,000 different jobs work in the NHRA this weekend, and they're going to see these kids with some enthusiasm, and maybe it sets them in the right path. I don't know. Great place to be.
Very cool. Well, the 31st Annual CarQuest Auto Parts NHRA Nationals this weekend, Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park, and people can hang out with you, Mr. Tony Schumacher. Thank you so much for giving us a ring today, sir. Good luck this weekend.
You got it. We'll see you. I hope your phone start working, man.
Yeah, that or my minivan, one of the two.
All right, see you.
Thanks, Tony. Take care.
Bye.